Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
This is only a start. I'm just scratching the surface of what we can do as a football team.
Buffalo Bills, baby! Bad boy!
I'm not here to sing and dance for you. I'm not here to run through statistics or depth charts or injury reports or any of that business. I'm here because you want me to be here. Telling you it's time to turn the lights on. Telling you it's time for what you want. Are you ready? It's time for Thursday Night Football.
Hey, let's take a step today. Division game.
Here we go, boys. Let's get this thing going.
15, take 15.
Hey, get ready. We got to be fast now.
3, 2, 1.
That's how we win, dog. That's how we do it. Get your heads up. Let's go.
Hot and cold never go together. People who like it cold, like the people in Buffalo, they also like their football played where you can see yourself breathe.
He got it! What a catch!
But in Miami, they've got no use for the cold. Why do they need cold? They had the only perfect season ever when it was hot. Hot is good. A team gets hot, a team wins games.
Tannehill, end zone, touchdown, Miami.
Great throw from Kyle Watkins off to the races.
Trying to get to the end zone.
That's unbelievable.
Football starts here.
What a grab by Mike Wallace.
Jackson down the sideline. Tannehill is putting on a show.
He knows how to win football games. Intercepted.
Bulldozes in.
Up and over. And he's going in for the touchdown. That's pretty awesome.
It's Thursday Night Football.
Yes, it is, Don Cheadle, on a perfect night in South Florida. Ideal conditions for Buffalo and Miami, a game that carries a lot of importance. Let's go down to the sidelines. Tracy Wilson is with head coach Doug Marrone.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Coach, very different teams this time around, including your quarterback and Kyle Orton. What does he need to do? What does this offense need to do to come away with another win?
Well, obviously, we got to control their front. You know, they've been playing extremely well on defense. You know, we've got to learn to manage the game well out of Kyle, make sure we do a good job of that, convert on third downs, and then our red zone, where we haven't been playing well, we need to make sure we score touchdowns.
Appreciate it.
Great.
Thanks so much. Jim?
Okay, Coach Marrone's made a decision. He's decided to defer. The weather here, as I mentioned, ideal, 74. Barely a breath of wind. Short sleeve weather here. 32 back in Buffalo, where there have been snow showers this evening. And again, the Bills have elected to send the football down Miami's way to get the game started. Jordan Gay will kick it off. And the rookie Jarvis Landry is the return man for the Dolphins. Jordan Gay is the only kickoff specialist in the NFL. They dedicate a roster spot for just this one duty. And his kick bounces at the 5 and is picked up with one hand by Landry, who brings it out, brushes off one tackle, and now takes it across the 20 to the 30 with a flag down after the 34-yard run back. Searcy was the one who met him at the 30.
Holding, number 56 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
But as Walt Coleman explains, that will wipe out the impressive return by Landry and put the Dolphins back right around the 10-yard line.
Yeah, good shot of it. Freeney getting that hold. Sitting the offense back. You're looking at an offense, Jim, for the Miami Dolphins. They want confidence. They want to get their quarterback off to a good start. Better field position always makes it easier on the play caller. But wouldn't be surprised to see a throw or a quarterback run first play of the game.
They come out with 3 wides. First snap is from the 12. And the safe throw goes to Lamar Miller. And he's got a separated shoulder, but he lowers the shoulder there and picks up 13 and a first down. So Tannehill, the first 3 games was a bit shaky, but since that time, the Dolphins are 4-2, and he's been impressive.
Well, we're going to talk about it as the night goes along, but I think he just, a call to arms. The head coach, Joe Philbin, talked to him and said, look, you got to be more aggressive. This is a playoff team. They all think that, and you need your quarterback to take some chances, be dynamic, and that's what he's been the last 6.
2 tight ends in for Tannehill on first down. And he's rolling out and getting rid of it. And he's got the short completion to Mike Wallace. Give him 2.
Well, good job by the Miami offensive line. You look at this Buffalo's defense. What they want to do is make sure they defend the whole field. Let's see what this restructured offensive line. Good job by Dallas Thomas, the right tackle, against Williams, and giving Tannehill an extra look down the field.
And again, the left tackle, the big signee in the offseason, Brandon Albert, who was with the Chiefs before that, out for the season IR after the injury last week. Tannehill still has it on 2nd and 8, and he's got Landry, who had that opening kick return out to the 30 that was wiped off the books. He's got a 10-yard reception, does the rookie out of LSU.
Well, this is one of the things they want to stop here tonight, is have somebody in position, which they do, to stop the quarterback run. But Landry open out in the flat. Now, that's what you do. Good start for Ryan Tannehill. 3 straight completions. Get that confidence and get the Buffalo defense. They're big up front. Keep them on the field and hopefully tire them out a little bit.
3 completions to 3 different targets. And now Miller comes back and gets the first rush of the game. And he is able to keep his balance for 2. Yeah, this offense, it was a problem through 3 games, and then they went over to London and beat up on Oakland, and things began to turn around. Their 2 losses have been both wrenching losses. One to Green Bay, one last week to Detroit. But look at what they've done.
Well, you know, they played much better, Jim. Listen, let's don't forget this is a new offense. Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator, and I think as you've watched the whole year, which I have, they've gotten better every single week. You can see the rhythm in the offense coming about.
All right, some jumping before the snap, and that draws a penalty.
Neutral zone infraction, number 99, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Darius.
Well, it was a good cadence by Tannehill, something you'd like to see quarterbacks do more in this league. But you talk about how the quarterback in the offense has been better the last weeks. Well, let's don't forget, like I said, it's new. And when you have a quarterback learning a new system, they have a tendency to overthink things. And you got to be spontaneous, just feel it and make those plays. And that's what Tannehill's done here lately.
Empty out the backfield on 2nd and 3. Quick release and another completion. This to Landry again, over to the Buffalo side of the field for 12. Broke out of the tackle from Aaron Williams to pick up extra yardage.
Well, that time it was a blitz by the Bills. They're not afraid to do that. And boy, does this Dolphin team, it's so talked about. Can they make some big plays? And you make big plays. It's not always throwing deep passes down the field. You got to take short plays like that, break tackles, and get big yards.
Another first down. And a carry for Miller. And he's got 4 to the Bills 40. Joe Philbin, his 3rd year. He came in when Tannehill was the 1st-round pick. Tannehill has started every game in Philbin's 41-game career here at Miami. So 20 and 21 is the mark up to this point.
I think if you look, Jim, we talked to both teams, coaches, players. And I said in the opening, both teams have enough good players to get them to the playoffs. So if it doesn't happen, well, it just makes it more frustrating.
2nd and 6. And Tannehill has Cartline for another first down. That's his 4th different receiver on this opening drive.
You know, this is something they will do on the outside. If you want to throw these sideline routes, the Buffalo Bills say go ahead. And the one thing I've noticed, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks, Tannehill is just throwing the ball with more force, letting it go. Of course, there was a quarterback down here a long time ago, Dan Marino. You see it, you believe it, you fire the football, and he's been doing much better.
Marino's in the building tonight. First down, Tannehill. Pressure, and he's going down. First sack of the night. Doesn't take long, does it? The best in the league at getting to the quarterback. The Bills' 35th sack of the season.
Well, what happens, they got a second look, the defensive line. There's the protection. It's good. Nobody's open down the field. When you look for that next receiver against this pass rush, Jim, that's when you get in trouble.
Stephon Charles is the one who gets to Tannehill, and it's a loss of 12.
Well, just look down the field. They're trying to go for the score. Gibson covered. They recovered on the right side, nowhere to go with the football.
2nd and 22. They go with Miller, and he is pile driven back. Look at Brandon Spikes along with Darius.
You know, Brandon Spikes, one of the few linebackers in the NFL that can win the game just by making big hits. Number 51 just drives through the running back that time. And Jim, if you notice, the runs, they go sideways. And that's what they do. They try to get you going sideways, cut it back up inside.
As you look at Doug Marrone and his 2nd season as the Bills head coach, 6-10 a year ago. We got a timeout called here by Miami after back-to-back plays that lost yardage. They'll have 3rd and 24 out of the break. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the Mazda CX-5. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. The Landmark, Joe's, Stone Crab. Doesn't get much better than that. As we return to Sun Life Stadium, 3rd and 24 coming up for Miami. The Dolphins had a 3-game win streak snapped last week at Detroit with Matthew Stafford completing that late touchdown pass to Riddick to win it. But the Dolphins at 5-4 matched up with an opponent tonight with the identical record. 5-4, the Bills. Ball caught with one hand by Williams. Oh, and he makes the move to pick up the first down. On 3rd and 24, the Dolphins convert.
That's what can happen to your defense when you're over-aggressive. They come at, they're going to probably blitz. Williams has a free release. Good job by Tannehill seeing it and getting it over the top. So sometimes the defense, when they send extra pass rushers, they just take for granted that that's going to keep the running backs in the backfield. It did not that time. McKelvin got forward.
The rookie out of Oklahoma picks up 32. Coming right back to him. He slips. Gets rebalanced. And knocked down inside the 10. And now Tannehill has completed his first 7 throws. All of them have been safe passes, but the Miami team continues to march down the field with the opening drive of the game. In the red zone, it's been an issue for both of these teams this season. The Bills worse in the league at converting red zone appearances to touchdowns. Miami is number 3. 3rd worst, that is.
Offensive lines, not the tops in the NFL. And then you have that one guy you can go to get the football down in this area.
2nd and 4. They go with Miller. They got a flag out.
Holding, number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
It's called on Shelley Smith, who starts tonight at left guard with Darren College out with a back injury.
Well, we talk about here 66. No, that was 64. That's Satelli.
He called it on
66. But that looked like a hold. You saw the jersey being pulled. But when you're playing against a good defense, hard to overcome. They did it once. Overcame the sack.
They've had the football here for half of the opening quarter. 2nd and 14. Can go over to Miller. And he's wrapped up for a loss. Tackled down by Roby.
Well, that's a big key for this Buffalo defense. Miami does so many things outside. The runs, bubble screens, throws like that, which you've already talked about, Jim. A lot of short throws out in the flat. You've got to tackle out there where there's nobody around. Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, head coach of the Lions last year. Hey, look, he likes to call it aggressive. So he's not afraid to send blitzers, do what it takes to get the other offense off the field.
3rd and 15. And over the head of Clay, Tannehill's first incompletion. He'll bring out the field goal unit and Caleb Sturgis.
Still a really good drive by this Miami Dolphins offense. Many things. Trying to get some points on the board. it has to be reassuring to Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback that they have a chance to protect him tonight.
Sturgis, 19 of 23 on the year. He's got this from 38 yards. And the Dolphins put points on the board with the first series. 14 plays, a drive that lasted over 8 minutes, but yields only 3. It's consistent with what's happened this season, not only again for Miami, but for Buffalo. They drive it down there and can't close the deal.
It is. You know, what did Doug Marrone, and we talked about the red zone offense with both head coaches, and it really says a lot about their football teams. One, your offensive line, it can struggle sometimes when it has to make those plays. And do you have that one guy that you could throw it to in those tight spaces? That's been the struggle for both teams.
Sturgis to kick to Bryce Brown. He'll have an opportunity from a yard out. And Brown, you should see a lot of action tonight at running back with Freddie Jackson out. Doesn't quite make it out to the 20. We're going to see the Buffalo Bills offense for the first time when we come back to Miami. Kyle Orton getting his 6th start as the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Look at those numbers. 10 touchdowns versus only 3 interceptions. This is his 3rd road start as a Bill. He's won his 2 road starts up to this point. Chris Hogan is in for this first snap as a 3rd receiver for the Bills. And Bryce Brown, who was again the kick returner, is the starting running back as Orton hits Woods on their first play of the game for Buffalo, a gain of 9.
Well, Jim, you talk about Kyle Orton. Why is he so important to this football team? We talked about it. They're a playoff caliber team if they can put it together. You've got a young offensive line they're trying to piece together. You got young wide receivers. They really needed a veteran quarterback to settle it down, somebody to lead them, and Kyle Orton has done that. He can teach the receivers, tell them exactly what he wants, and it's worked well so far.
Dixon's the running back for this play as Watkins catches the pass, the low pass, takes it for a first down. The rookie out of Clemson has 5. So E.J. Manuel started the season, got the win week 2 over Miami, played well in that game, but was replaced on October the 5th. After a couple of losses, they went with Orton at quarterback. It was an interesting move by Marrone.
Yeah, it was. It was a brave move. E.J. Manuel, listen, they say he's getting better in practice, but I kind of explained to you, they needed a veteran back there.
Here's Dixon getting the carry. You may know him as Anthony Dixon, the former 49er running back. But he's going by Booby Dixon these days, like the old Booby Clark running back of Cincinnati yesteryear.
Well, we do what he said. He wanted to be called Booby. But, hey, the other thing is this offense, watch Sammy Watkins. Brent Grimes is going to match up against him, number 21. And I think Buffalo is going to have a lot of different ways to try to get this football to number 14, Sammy Watkins.
2nd and 4. And Orton, that pass knocked away, intended for Watkins. And Jones was the one who stripped it out of his hands.
Well, they love to attack defenses with the quick passing game. Watch Kyle Orton. He goes to throw it and kind of waits because he knows who's out there covering Sammy Watkins. In the slot, breaks out. Oh my gosh, you got to be careful being late. Oh, that's Jones that time. I'm sorry, I thought it was Brent Grimes.
And Grimes is quite the interception machine with picks 3 games in a row, but that was Jones who broke it up, and now it's a 3rd down and 4 for Buffalo. And there's the conversion to Hogan. They're trying to strip it, but he's holding on. Hogan's coming on here in recent games. He's got a pickup of 7, and now the Bills have their 2nd first down of their first drive.
Every team needs a good slot receiver. Watch Hogan went outside, come back inside, makes the catch. Why do you need him? 3rd and short, and you got to catch the football usually between defenders. Good job by Chris Hogan, lacrosse player at Penn State. Graduated there, went 1 year at Monmouth down in New Jersey, and has turned into quite a player for this football team.
On first down, Orton Gonna go screen. It's caught by Bryce Brown. And he's taken down by Starks at the 50. Picks up 5. Get an exclusive look as NFL scouts decide which players move on, which are sent home. It's an all-new episode of the original series Undrafted, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or catch a special advance premiere tonight after the postgame only on NFL Network. Speaking of undrafted, Cameron Wake.
Yep, went up to Canada, of course, did very well there. And I know there's a lot of teams still now in the NFL going, boy, I wish we'd have put more effort into signing him once he left Canada.
2nd and 5. And that's only good for 2 more as the second team tight end Greg has his 5th catch of the season.
Well, I think you see what this Buffalo Bills offense is about. They like to throw the short pass game like I talked about, kind of march it down the field. But Nate Hackett, the offensive coordinator, they're always looking for a way to get that big play. And sooner or later, usually when I watch them, it's down the seams to try to create those big plays.
3rd and 3. Dolphins defense stacks up 5 on the line. Who's coming? They back off. They rush 3. Orton down the way to Hogan, who has his 2nd catch for a conversion on a 3rd down play.
Well, Brent Grimes that time, number 21, is going to run into Hogan. See him on the outside. Oh, he sees the football. That's what made him slip as he was trying to stop and get the football. But boy, Kyle Orton threw it with tremendous anticipation.
And how about Hogan coming up with a couple of key 3rd down grabs? Here's the 1st down carry by Dixon. And he's got another 6 or 7 running behind Henderson. Kyle Orton, look what he's done as far as season numbers. You talk about quarterbacks in the history of this franchise, like Kemp and Kelly and Joe Ferguson. Look at 277 yards. That's the best average for a quarterback in Buffalo team history in a season.
Well, it's a new day and era. There's no question about it. When you talk about quarterbacks and their numbers. But the big thing for Kyle Orton, accurate with the football.
Here's Bryce Brown picking up the 1st down on 2nd and 3. Moving the chains at the 21. Picks up 5. He is a well-traveled quarterback as Kyle Orton began his career at Chicago.
6-0 at the start there in Denver. Kansas City wanted to keep him, but he moved to Dallas.
Started week 17 last year. Played well in a game that was for the playoff spot, but lost. And then he went into retirement before being signed right at the end of camp and being brought back into the league away from his home in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Here's a 1st down throw. And again, he's got Brown for 6 more as they methodically move down the field. Now, they have had opening drive touchdowns each of the last 2 games, and they're moving again, but they're in the red zone, which has been problematic for them this year.
It has. They do this a lot. They march down the field, but they can't seem to make that one play to get them in the end zone. But Kyle Orton throws with rhythm, doesn't hold the football, knows when to throw it away, and sometimes when he takes the sack, he takes it, protects the football to make sure there's no turnover.
Final 30 seconds of a speedy first quarter and a 2nd and 4 for the Bills. And through the hands of Chandler. We were talking about red zone performances. There's a lot of ways you can slice it up, but here's what we were talking about. Red zone touchdown percentage. Bills only 41%. That's last in the league, and Miami is just 2 places behind that at the bottom of the league standings.
What did Doug Marrone say to us about the red zone? It's just tells you everything really about your offense and your football team.
Bills have just called the timeout, facing a 3rd and 4 out of the break. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Soup. It fills you up right. And by PapaJohns.com, where there's always better deals on better pizza. Downtown Miami, it is a beautiful sight at night. And they have been warning everyone, get to the game early. They're going to be traffic snags. This has been a hard ticket to get. The stadium is still filling up as we're already down to the final 19 seconds of the first quarter. And Buffalo has converted a couple of times with Hogan, the recipient, in those situations. 3rd and 4. He's looking for Hogan again, and the ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage. And the Bills' opening drive also gets shut down inside the 20.
It's a blitz. Here comes Jones, the safety, on the outside. And look at the coverage down the field. They know that there's going to be a free runner to the quarterback, and the route has to be quick. And both defensive backs on each side were ready for those short passes.
Dan Carpenter is getting not a very warm reception here to Miami, where he started his career and kicked for the Dolphins for 5 years. 33 yards on the field goal, which is good. True to form, each team has to settle for red zone field goals. 3 seconds to go in the first. Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, and Mercury Morris, the driving force behind the Dolphins' perfect season. Reunited 40 years later, it's an all-new A Football Life, the perfect backfield. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. Well, December 9th, 2002, the Bears came in here to take on Miami. A Monday night game, a memorable night as the Dolphins retired the Hall of Fame fullback Larry Zonka's jersey and celebrated the 30th anniversary of the perfect season. It's the first night they ever wore the all-aqua uniforms. That night they honored Zonka. This is just the 4th occasion. And the first time in 10 years as you see the quarterbacks both sharp on their first possessions.
Well, the key is, we talked about in the opening, all these great pass rushers that we have in this game, which we do. They are loaded both sides, but both quarterbacks, both offensive coordinators, catch it and throw it. Don't let the defensive lineman get that extra chance. So a lot of short passes and productive here to start the game.
Another short throw, and it's Wallace. And he's got a 9-yard gain with a drive starter. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. A punch and a counter punch. Little 3-3 tilt after one. We'll return after these messages, and you're watching Thursday Night Football. Jim Nance, Bill Sims, Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey's with us as well tonight for any rules discussions. But you look at Ryan Tannehill's first 10 throws.
Looks pretty good. Green is good. 9 out of the first 10. And that's all we heard from the Dolphins. And a lot of talk. We've got to make sure our quarterback, keep him upright, don't let him get hit too much, and get him off to a good start. They've done both.
Tannehill's been spending some time with the legend Dan Marino, talking quarterback, as Lamar Miller has the first down. Yeah, talking about how to excel at quarterback. Couldn't find a much better tutor than Dan Marino. They've been spending time looking at tape.
Well, they've been doing that. Dan Marino's been at some of the practices. It's been talking to Ryan Tannehill. And, you know, Jim, you and I talk about this. They want him to take over the team. And you got to do it in lots of ways. And I think the one thing, nobody's better than Dan Marino, to see it and let that football go. And you can tell when you watch him play.
Tannehill rolling out now on first down, and that's incomplete. Wallace thought there was contact, not going to get the flag.
No, he's not. A little late with the throw, but let's look at this Dolphins offense. That first drive, 2 blitzes came against them, and both times they were ready and made good plays against them. And here's a 3rd down blitz. The running back is free. Tannehill sees it. That'll slow him down. You know that, Jim. Of course, when you make plays against the blitz.
Round 80! Right on!
2nd and 10. And Miller. Couple of nice cuts, and there he goes into the secondary. And Miller's down to the 30 of Buffalo. playing with a separated shoulder. He was limited against the Lions, but they said he was going to be fresher and ready to play tonight. 33 on that run.
Yeah, really good job that time. Shelley Smith comes around, gets the block, and when you watch Lamar Miller, 66 comes around. Charles Clay gets a good block. Wide receiver Mike Wallace does. And this is what Lamar Miller gives this offense. Just another weapon. Take an average run and make it special. He did that time.
It's his longest run of the season at 33 yards. And Tannehill finds Hartline down to the 10. And first and goal to go coming up from Miami.
Really well-designed play, easy for the quarterback. Run him off on the right side. Hartline comes across. Nobody follows him.
And was he out of bounds a little earlier? He was, in fact, back at the 14. And the officials are on it. So bring it back to the 14. Hartline's second catch of the game. Here's Tannehill. Out of the pocket and going to keep it. And loses the football. Picked up by the Bills. Off the hop. Recovered by Buffalo. It's Duke Williams with the recovery. It was Hughes who knocked it out of Tannehill's hands. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week. And by KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you? KFC, as you look at Miami Freedom Tower, now a contemporary art museum, but we're coming out of a Dolphin turnover in the red zone. It's the first lost fumble by Tannehill in over a year. 19 games since he last coughed it up to the opposition. Dolphins' 5th red zone turnover of the year, which is most in the league. Here's Brown. He's able to make a move around Deion Jordan to turn it into a small positive play. What happened?
Well, Jim, watch Ryan Tannehill first. There's Hughes coming around the outside. He looks to make sure nobody's behind him. But in the NFL, when you are going forward inside the field, they are always chasing you from behind. And Hughes, his attribute, speed, and stays after it. That's why he got the fumble.
Yeah, again, Tannehill has been a long time since he lost a fumble. Big Hughes has been some find here for the Bills, the former first-round pick by the Colts out of TCU. 2nd and 8, and this is Dixon getting his 3rd carry of the night. Well, they had Hughes drafted in Indianapolis as an heir apparent to that whole Freeney-Mathis combination, and they viewed him, you know, in his time there as a disappointment. Traded him away. I mean, a lot of people did. Not everyone on that coaching staff, though.
Yeah, I think so. And what he's doing up here, most teams view him as the most dangerous pass rusher. They put formations to his side. They double team him, and he's handled it well, and he's been a tremendous impact player for the Bills defense.
Traded over from the Colts a year ago. He had 2 sacks last week against Kansas City, and now the forced fumble. 3rd and 6, and Hogan for the 3rd time tonight converts with a 3rd down grab.
Well, you remember the show Hard Knocks when the Miami Dolphins were on this a couple years ago, and who did they talk about? Chris Hogan, 7-11. Why? Because he's always open. So they let him go. Goes to Buffalo. It's a blitz. Kyle Orton gets rid of it quick. And Chris Hogan, you said it right. Every week you can see his confidence. He's gaining. Aggressive route runner. Him and Sammy Watkins, tremendous workers in practice every day.
First down at the 31. Here's Orton. Again, takes underneath with Brown to the 50. Ridden down by Jelani Jenkins, but another 19 for the Bills.
Well, just Kyle Orton's making it look easy against a good defense. And when you watch this offense, they're spreading it around. I watched Syracuse. Nate Hackett, the offensive coordinator, was with Doug Marrone up in Syracuse. I watched their stuff because they had a quarterback, Ryan Nassib, who's now with the Giants, and they're doing a lot of the same things. They just work the ball, make it easy on the quarterback, give him confidence, and then every once in a while, Jim, they look for that big play down the field.
They run it on first down with Brown. He finds a seam up the middle for 8. The former Philadelphia Eagle running back. Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, Deshaun Jackson sits down to discuss how he's become a team leader with the Redskins. NFL Total Access tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. So that without Fred Jackson, C.J. Spiller, of course, also out with injury. So they're going with Dixon and Brown, and they're alternating almost every snap. Dixon the back now here on 2nd and 2. And he stopped a yard short of the first. And it's been because of injury that they're one of only 4 teams in the league that doesn't have a 300-yard rusher. Got all these guys closing in on it, but get Spiller out, Jackson out, Boobie Dixon at 243. Fred Jackson, I should say. There he is. He's coming off a groin injury, played last week and retweaked it in practice on Tuesday. As this time it's Dixon picking up the first down. Yeah, Jackson initially got hurt against Minnesota. Groin injury. Then it wasn't but just a few minutes later when C.J. Spiller was taken off and he injured his shoulder. Spiller, who had a kick return touchdown against the Dolphins in the first matchup this year.
Well, they've done a good job working around the injuries of the running backs. You've seen the short passing game. That's part of it.
First down at the 34. Coming in on Orton, and he just throws it away from out of the pocket. He's being chased by Starks. What have you seen out of the Bills' offensive line here early?
Well, they've done an awesome job. Both teams. The pass rushers for both teams have been neutralized. Why? Quarterbacks getting rid of the football quickly. And also, I think both offensive lines, don't you think, Jim, they got a little sick of hearing all the stuff during the week from guys like us or me saying, boy, I don't know if they can block the team on the other side. But really awesome starts by both teams.
2nd and 10. And there's Watkins coming home to Florida. Raised on the other coast over in the Fort Myers area. And he's been blown away by some things you looked at with Watkins on tape this year.
Well, he keeps getting better and better. There's no doubt about it. They're using him more and more, trying to find different ways. Here he is against Brent Grimes. And you got to make tough, contested catches when you play the best corners. He played Darrelle Revis earlier in the year. I think that was a great lesson for him. He's learned from it and getting more consistent, beating this tight coverage that we've seen so far here tonight.
You see him at the top of the screen. Grimes on him. 3rd and 1. And they got the first down. That's Brown. And they're inside the 20.
Boy, Eric Wood, the center, he's having a good night. Number 70. Watch him gets in there. Oh, he does a wonderful job, too, of picking up the blitz by Jelani Jenkins. That allows Brown to get into the secondary. Stiff arm there, but it didn't stop the tackler.
The Bills still moving the football after recovering the Tannehill fumble. And both teams have had it twice. Both teams have been in the red zone twice. Hogan with his 4th catch. Out of bounds at the 15. We talked about Hogan and what a journey for him from changing sports, Penn State at first, to Monmouth down in the Jersey Shore area. And getting that 1 year there at the same school that produced Miles Austin.
Not bad. You know, and I think, look, he comes from the area that I live in North Jersey, and he was a terrific high school wide receiver. But he didn't get any big-time offers, so I think he was upset by that. He says, the heck with it, I'll play lacrosse. But made a good decision once it was over to give football one more try, and it's worked out great.
Yeah, down at Monmouth. 2nd and 6. Orton slings it out into the flat. And Dixon near a first. What will they give him? Forward progress. About a foot shy of the first.
I tell you, this might be the first time in all the games I've done where I just said the offense, what they're going to do is attack the defense with the short passing game. And they've done it with such precision. Good tackle by Jamar Taylor.
It's going to be third and about a foot.
Well, I think you call a play here, Jim, where if it doesn't go well, you still have a chance to go for it on fourth down.
Dixon, excellent short yardage back with the 49ers, and he gets the call and gets the first.
To this running game of the Bills and what they're doing, running with power here, it's going to make the Miami Dolphins kind of creep up there. They've already done it, keeping the safeties inside. And when that happens, of course, you hear it all the time, and it's true. It gives the wide receivers a greater opportunity outside.
Dixon giving them a nice boost. He just could not get enough carries at San Francisco. And now getting his chance to shine in Buffalo, getting some opportunity. He gives them the first and goal as we now are about to move inside of 5 minutes in the first half. Play action. Orton to the end zone, and it's batted down.
Yeah, he got lucky having that football batted down. Everybody's inside. Here comes the receiver to the right. Oh, yes, they got it. Grimes, that's Taylor going to go in front. And then Delmas, I think the safety, jumps up and wants to get the interception too.
Odrick got a hand on it. You saw Mike Williams breaking, the Buffalo native, the former Tampa Bay Buck. A lot of folks have been wondering, why isn't he getting some red zone chances? And he was one of the receivers in the area where it looked like Orton was going. Second and goal. Now they go back to the ground. But Dixon trying to fight off the hits. No gain. Third and goal coming up for the Bills.
Yeah, not much chance on the running plays here the last couple plays because they're just outnumbered. We've got guys up inside. There comes Delmas, the safety, to make the tackle. Too many guys, can't block them all. No game.
Last week, the Bills, some feel like they just gave the game away to Kansas City. Tough loss, but they had 4 red zone possessions and were unable to produce a touchdown in those 4 trips. Now for the second time tonight, they're down here. Third and goal, and Orton going to keep it, but cannot get by all those bodies. Stopped at the 3, and again, they'll have to settle for a field goal.
Well, they were playing pass coverage all the way. Is anybody open to the left? Kyle Orton is looking to the right. There's a defensive lineman also dropping into coverage. So there's really nowhere for him to throw the football. Inside, here's a defensive lineman. Nowhere to go. Don't take a chance. Protect the football.
Dan Carpenter, who kicked 5 field goals against the Dolphins back on September 14th, has 2 already in this game. Hughes with the strip. Got the football back for the Bills. It leads to the other end and a field goal for Buffalo. Tonight's Cable Cam is being presented by Mazda. Buffalo and Miami. We've had 4 drives total in this game. They've all reached the red zone. 3 field goals and a red zone turnover committed by the Dolphins. 12 total plays in the red zone, but no touchdowns produced. Of course, you got this confluence of these teams that don't have the great ability to close the deal, plus 2 really stout defenses anyway. Gay delivers it through the back of the end zone, so out to the 20 for the Dolphins with 3:26 to go in the second. Down 6-3. We're back at Sun Life Stadium, and you look at Ryan Tannehill, year 3. He's started every game of his career, and the numbers are trending very favorably for him.
Doesn't keep enough people happy, though, does it? The scrutiny of quarterbacks, it's, of course, at an all-time high, and it's just going to get rough.
It's down throw, good for 10.
But let me just say this about Tannehill. I think that's why Coach Philbin had that talk with him yes, it's trending upward, but in this league, you got to get there fast, especially when you have a team that you think is playoff ready. You need your quarterback to put you over the top. Dan Marino, the coaching staff, all trying to teach him to maybe, I hate to even say it, but take the next step.
Wallace was the recipient of that play that got a first down. And that's Daniel Thomas for 6 or 7. Hey, next Thursday night, we're going to be AFC westbound. Kansas City, the Chiefs will be taking on the Raiders out in Oakland. And we'll see you next Thursday night with that matchup. Kansas City and Oakland. Did I hear you say take it to the next level?
The next step. No, the next step.
You many times that we've spent 4 or 5 days together every week. You keep moaning about how you hate hearing that. Oh, back to Tannehill. And he's going to just cut his losses.
That happened so fast, he couldn't knock it down.
It's Mario Williams who batted it down.
Yeah, once you catch it, it is a completed pass to himself. I had one of these once. But he did the right thing. Don't catch it and look to throw it again.
We're at the 2-minute warning. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Coach Coward, and Dion with the highlights and analysis from the first half. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, and the Dolphins face third down. 3rd and 7. As you look at Corey Graham, he's in there now for Leotis McKelvin, who injured an ankle and is questionable to return. Graham right here, the former Raven defensive back. He's up against Mike Wallace on this snap, top of the screen. And flags down as Tannehill goes down the field and completes it to Wallace with, again, Graham, the defender.
Offside defense. That penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
17 yards to Wallace.
Couple times he's used the snap count here tonight. It's worked both times. And on the outside, they did not hit enough of these passes against Buffalo in week 2. But Tannehill since then has been, when you give him this type of coverage on the outside, he's been very accurate throwing the football outside the numbers.
4th catch for Wallace. Dolphins first down from the 50, and they go long. Down the field and caught. No, incomplete, but out of bounds anyway. It was Wallace. Williams and Graham were both running with him stride for stride.
I'll tell you, watch Wallace on the outside, Jim. It's a little double move, and he outruns the coverage. If he throws it inside, I think he's going to go and chase the football down.
And look at JB watching here.
There's JB Brown, James Brown.
Dion checking
Sanders.
out the coverage. Provided there by Aaron Williams. 2nd and 10. And here they come for a second sack on the night. It's Mario Williams.
Well, the protection's been good all night. Williams on the outside. Oh, what a good fake inside against Dallas Thomas. And then without even breaking stride, just goes right around him. Hard to contain all 4, but so far they've done a pretty good job.
3rd and 13, clock running at 1:20. Tannehill almost intercepted on 2 occasions, but a flag's in the secondary.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Stephon Gilmore is the culprit that time. First down for Miami off the flag.
24.
Hits him 8-10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Contact there with Matthews.
Contact was there. Probably the first bad decision Tannehill has made tonight. Tried to force it in there to pick up the first down.
And with 1:13 to go in the half. The pass somehow held on to. The catch made by Gibson, hammered down by Graham. Picks up 5. Dolphins have 2 timeouts as we move inside of a minute. Here's Tannehill. And able to scramble for 2 and avoid the sack. Here's a timeout called by the Dolphins with 50 seconds to go. We're back with the Dolphins, 1 timeout, 3rd and 3 coming up from the Buffalo 41. Tannehill's left side of the line completely reworked here in the last week with the loss of Brandon Albert. Darren College out tonight. How have you thought James and Shelley Smith have held up on that left side?
Oh, I think it's you couldn't ask for anything more. If you're talking about this Miami offensive line, you reshifted going against the best defensive line pass rushers in the NFL. What do you do if you're Buffalo? Do you attack to keep him out of field goal range, or do you hold him to a short completion?
3rd and 3. Tannehill looking for options. Now goes way down the field, and a flag is in the secondary at the 15-yard line as Gibson was the target for Tannehill.
You got to remember, he can runs very well. Pass rushers have to stay disciplined to keep him in the pocket.
They're looking over to the Buffalo sideline, trying to see what they want to do with the penalty that appears to be against Miami.
Pass interference, number 10, offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Miami's brought out the punting unit. Here it comes right here. No question about OPI on that one.
Yep. Contact, arms extended.
Interesting. They had to think about it. You know, what would Miami do with 4th and 3? And it's going to be Fields, presumably. There were fake punts last week in the Miami-Detroit game by each side. Fields with Woods, the returner. Not getting anywhere near this one as Miami covers it up. That's the way you do it. Will Davis was the one down there covering that punt. How about Watkins? And again, that matchup with Grimes tonight.
Yeah, it is. And you know, both of them were looking forward to this matchup. Sammy Watkins makes a good contested catch. Watch this move. Boom. The problem was Kyle Orton was looking to the other side.
I don't know how fancy you want to get here as you see Watkins has run 477 yards tonight, according to our next gen stats.
What did he say? That's a lot of yards. What did he say to us coming down here? Oh man, he loves the hot weather. You told it earlier. He's from Florida, so conditioning will not be a factor for him.
So the Bills will go to the locker room with the 6-3 lead on a pair of Carpenter field goals. Kyle Orton throws for 100 yards in that first half. Bills rush for another 51 yards. Tannehill 136 yards passing. That one costly fumble as the Dolphins had entered the red zone on their 2nd possession of the game. Coming up on the Lexus halftime report, JB, Coach Cowher, and Dion with the highlights and analysis from the first half. And let's get down again to Tracy.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, finishing in the red zone was a point of emphasis. Had to settle for 2 field goals. What adjustments can you make down there?
Well, we got to make some adjustments and get ourselves in some better situation and some better matchups down there. No doubt about it. Defensively, we got to stop on the first down passing game and tackle better.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Yeah, Buffalo deferred at the start, so they'll be receiving that 3rd quarter kick. 6-3 Bills at the intermission. Back with the Lexus halftime report after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. not a touchdown to be found in that opening half. That was the same case, by the way, when they met week 2 up in Buffalo, with the Bills eventually winning that one 29-10. But it's a 6-3 Buffalo lead in this one. What are you looking for here in the second half?
I'm looking to see which team can find a way to get the football down the field. And, you know, there's lots of ways to do it. Formations, move the quarterback, but more than anything, keep some guys in there. If you're worried about protecting the quarterback, keep some extra blockers in there. They both do it and throw the ball down the field. Big plays. That's why they're having so much trouble in the red zone.
Sammy Watkins only targeted a couple of times tonight. 2 catches for 14 yards in that opening half. And really, the Bills only had 2 true possessions. They had a kneel down at the end of the first half. Can't really count that as a drive. There are the first half numbers. Anything stand out to you?
Well, everything has gone even. You know, Jim, they're executing a lot of plays in the first half. Both teams, a lot of short passes. But when you try to string together in the NFL 10 to 15 play drives, something's going to go wrong. A sack, a penalty, miss a throw, people can't get open. That's what's happened to both teams.
There's Bryce Brown. And he's going to take that Sturgis kick a couple yards deep. In favor of the right side, back to the middle. And tackle down just across the 20. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot. I spoke with Joe Philbin coming out of half, and it was a lot of what you both were just talking about. He liked the way his team was moving the ball, but he wants to see them be more effective in the red zone. They need to limit the penalties, and he does want to see more explosive plays. He mentioned Mike Wallace and deep balls down the field. Jim?
All right, Tracy, on the other side, we had talked about Leotis McKelvin injuring an ankle and questionable the rest of the way. We now hear he will not return. Of course, he was the one who this week created a little stir when he talked about how he almost guaranteed a win for the Bills in this case against Miami. The Bills having beaten the Dolphins the last 3 times they have met, and they open up the second half with Boobie Dixon carrying it for 3.
Well, you know, it's guarantees. Well, you know what they're worth. Not much.
But doesn't quite work like it did years ago down here in Miami before Super Bowl 3.
That's right. And, you know,
there was a guarantee made.
Yeah, that worked out. But you know, you come down here, the Miami Dolphins historically have beaten a lot of good teams, just like this year down here in Miami.
2nd and 7. And that's Woods with the catch. Maybe not totally aware where he needed to go with that first down yardage. He's about a long yard short. That's what we talked about, how they didn't have a touchdown on the board in the first half of the first game this year.
But the difference up in Buffalo, which some of those errors have been corrected by the Miami Dolphins, they physically got overwhelmed, especially by the Buffalo defense. The opportunities in that game, too, were a lot more for the Bills offense. They just didn't take advantage of it.
3rd and 1, they're going to go wide. Wide costs him, as Brown is dropped for a 4-yard loss by Jamar Taylor.
Really good play, Jamar Taylor, starting this week, but good job coming up on the outside. Nowhere to go. They couldn't cut it back inside, and Cortland Finnegan, an excellent corner tackler. Jamar Taylor also.
Colton Schmidt punting for the first time. And it's Landry honing in on it with a fair catch signal at the 27. 47-yard punt. We'll see what Tannehill and the Dolphins have going here. They've been good in the 3rd quarter this year. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. And by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. University of Miami. And that rich history with 5 national championships. Jim Kelly, we saw at halftime, a graduate there, and a couple of members of our crew. Corey Fishman, Amy Samonson, they both were University of Miami graduates. Michael Irvin, and of course here as well. Florida State will be on this field taking on Miami here in a couple of nights. Big game. 1st and 10, and Lamar Miller, who ripped off a 33-yard run in that first half. has his 6th carry of the night now for 48 yards.
Well, did you see Marcel Darius playing inside? The run goes outside. He is some difference maker inside. His energy never slowed down, plays hard. Of course, they rotate their defensive linemen in to keep them fresh.
One of their backup linemen, Charles, had a sack in that first half. 2nd down and 6. Careful, tough pass. Trying to hit Hartline, and it's Graham who could have made a play on the pick.
Well, let's look at this pass rush. The coverage allows Charles to get a sack. Jerry Hughes causes the fumble, and then this move on the outside by Mario Williams. Fake inside, used his hands, which he's great at, and knocked the hands of Dallas Thomas down.
Well, they sacked him twice. That means in the 6 career games Tannehill's gone against Buffalo, they've gotten him at least twice every game, including tonight's. 3rd and 6. From the pocket. Complete to Clay, who is able to fight and stretch it out for the yardage for the first down. Gain of 7.
Good job by Charles Clay. Boy, did they miss him too, Jim. He's a guy that can make big plays for you. Tries to get a chip on her pass rusher. But here's what I like. He knew he was short and able to spin out and get a couple extra yards. Now you see the brace on his right knee.
Yeah, and that's the tender knee, and he was able to slip out that right leg that Corey Graham had hold of to pick up the first down.
Boy, good job staying off the ground.
And a procedure call coming up against Miami.
False start, number 64, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, you go back to Charles Clay. You saw that brace. It slowed him down this year, that right knee, because many games, Jim, teams take their best defender and have covered with him to keep him out of the passing game. So now, you know, we didn't hear his name much from the Buffalo Bills because of the pass rush. He has to help out, and he's just a little limited running down the field.
Yeah, that catch a moment ago was his first of the night. Tannehill's 8th different receiver. Play action, and he's got no chance as Mario Williams, with Hughes around him as well, decks them for the 3rd time.
Well, he plays the play perfectly, Mario Williams. Here he is on the outside. He doesn't go for the fake. He takes a wide arc, and now the tight end, Sims, cannot get over there to get the block. Well, look how fast he can run, and you're just starting to see some of the athletic ability of these front 4. Saw Darius outside making a tackle. And Mario Williams, because they're so good up front, doesn't see a lot of double teams, and he's taking advantage of them.
Timeout called by Miami with 2nd and 25 on the way. I know you couldn't help but notice this going to the break. This is not a horror film here.
No, it's not. Of course, it's cosmetic. He does it. He wore them last week. But how would you like to be the right tackle when you come out and you see his eyes? You go, oh my gosh,
I'd be scared.
My man is upset.
It'd be worth at least 1 sack to give up. And Mario already has 2 on the night. One of the reasons the Dolphins here face 2nd and 25. And Clay has the catch. What a tackle on it, too, by Roby. Nickel Roby holds him to only a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 21 coming.
Yeah, he's the extra defensive back that comes in. He's not a big guy, but boy, not afraid to tackle, has long arms, can cover really well. And Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, couldn't say enough good things about him. Playing that extra DB, playing the slot receivers, could be as hard a job as there is in the NFL for a defensive player.
Got to get all the way out to the 49 for the first down. Tannehill. As Mario Williams closing in on him. And Tannehill just throws it onto the bench. Boy, Mario Williams, he can run. The former 1st overall selection by the Houston Texans. Just check him out here.
Speed, just runs by at 16 yards to get that sack. And you said it, he can really run.
So we'll see Fields punting to Robert Woods, who takes over the return duties for McKelvin, who again we've been told is out for the rest of the game with an ankle.
Low kick.
Let's check out Woods. $59-yard punt. 11-yard return. I've seen you look like this after a few late nights.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. But I had fun. It was fun.
This week on NFL Game Day Morning, a one-on-one interview with Aldon Smith as he prepares for his return to the Niners Sunday. NFL Game Day Morning, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. The AFC playoff picture. Granted, we're just into week 11 now, but what a jumbled, I was going to say mess it is, but actually what a sight it is. What a fun season it is to follow with so many possibilities.
It really is amazing, all the teams that are still in the playoff hunt and have winning records. That's why this game here tonight, in the opening, so little room for error. If you lose this game, you got to think you'd have to win 5 of your last 6 if you lost tonight.
Here is Hogan, bounced out after 5 onto the Miami sideline. It's been a long time since Buffalo was in the postseason. In fact, their last postseason game was the Music City Miracle when the Titans, Frank Wycheck, tossed it over with seconds to go to Dyson, who took it home for the win. That was their last postseason game. And I got to tell you, such a proud history up there. The Bills, 14 years, the drought. Longest active streak in the league. Here's a 2nd and 4. And they've got Hogan again, who's having a big night, out to the 46 and a first down.
Well,
His 6th catch.
Jim, they've been coming with the short crossers so much, it allows Hogan to come across the middle. Oh, I got the wrong guy. He was the inside. But he has, we said it, he's been coming on and runs all of his routes full speed, makes the cuts, getting more polished as time goes along. And Kyle Orton, of course, trusts him by throwing the ball so much.
Hogan hobbles off. Here's the end around for Watkins. And he's bounced out after 3. We're talking about the long drought for the Bills. By the way, there's a great book out right now called Second to None, an inspiring story about the Bills and their proud history there in Western New York, the great fan base. And this book has to do with that glorious stretch, the only team to reach the Super Bowl 4 straight years, a Joe Valerio book that be a good holiday read for everyone out there. Buffalo at 5 and 4. This would be just a huge night for them, going home after this game for 2 straight at home. The Jets and then Cleveland. Of course, you got Miami on the other side at 5 and 4, wanting in their own drought. Here's a 2nd and 7. As Orton has a man open, and it's Watkins. And we talked about at halftime, Watkins trying to get more a part of things in the second half. They've used him on an end around of this drive, and now the 18-yard completion.
Well, Sammy Watkins coming across here, and what they did, look at the formation. They keep extra guys in there. They had the tight ends to make sure Kyle Orton was going to have time to throw the football down the field. And I think the Miami Dolphins realize this. When they see these tight formations, usually when Buffalo does them, they're trying to get those extra blockers to throw it down the field, and the defense just backed off and gave Kyle Orton an easy throw.
Watkins will sit out this play as they bring in Mike Williams, pair him up with Robert Woods. 1st and 10. And that's Dixon stuffed. No gain. Look at Watkins, how he shapes up with other rookie receivers. This is the year of the rookie receiver in the league, isn't it?
Oh, there's no doubt. Most of these guys, the rookie receivers that were picked high, are coming through for their football teams. And what did I say here? I believe it. This is going to go down as like the quarterback class of '83 with Dan Marino and John Elway.
This receiver class.
This receiver class, yes.
Yeah, I like it. And it's not just the first rounders. 2nd and 10. And they went back to Watkins. Grimes had the tight coverage. No, you talk about receivers that just the crop out of the first round, and they've all produced. Beckham got a late start because he was injured, but man, is he coming on. Mike Evans is starting to look like a big-time playmaker. Cook's down in New Orleans, and Benjamin with 7 touchdowns. Those are the first-round wideouts from this past spring. Watkins, the 4th overall.
Buffalo on the edge of field goal range here, so Kyle Orton, I'm sure he knows that, and will be careful with the football and try not to take a sack.
First time they faced a 3rd down of this length tonight, 3rd and 10, and he gets rid of it just in time. There was pressure behind him, but there's a flag down, and it's going to be offsides against Miami, I think.
Offside, number 98, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's a big one on Odrick.
It is, and if you're wondering why you haven't heard the name Cameron Wake here tonight, because they are paying a lot of attention to where he lines up. He's been lining up against Chantrell Henderson, the right tackle, a lot, and they're keeping a tight end, they're chipping him, they're doing a lot of different things to make sure Cameron Wake doesn't destroy this offense.
3rd and 5. Hogan's returned to the field after sitting out a couple of plays after his last catch. And that pass intended for Woods, but he was double covered, and had there even been a completion there, the Dolphins were ready to close in on him. So the 5 yards, though, comes up big here for Carpenter. His field goal try will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 46 yards. And again, he had a 5 field goal game in the first matchup. He's looking for his 3rd of tonight. I never heard a crowd so angry at a former kicker.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing. From 46, Carpenter silences the Bluebirds that he used to play in front of when he was a Dolphin. 3 for 3 on the night. All field goals this evening. 9-3 Buffalo. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league is donating $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. For these duties, kicking off, and he's got his 2nd touchback of the evening. Don Shula. Hey,
yeah,
Coach.
there you go.
You're looking great.
Looking good.
By the way, you know who used to play for Don Shula? For the legend right here? Doug Marrone.
That guy,
Back
yes.
in 1987, the year they actually opened this stadium, Marrone was on the Dolphins roster. He was a lineman protecting Dan Marino.
I was down on the field before the game, and he was telling some Don Shula stories and basically saying Don Shula told you the truth, and you had to be able to handle it, which the players did.
Tannehill, play action, leads to an open man, Landry, and a gain of 11. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Marrone actually had a cup of coffee as a player in the league coming out of Syracuse. He was raised in the Bronx, but he was drafted by the LA Raiders. They caught him. He came here in '87. He actually was activated to the roster when Dwight Stevenson suffered a season-ending knee injury in '87. Saw action the final 3 games of that year.
Well, he said he listened to Don Shula knowing that his playing career was not going to last long and getting ready to coach.
That's Miller, high stepping it ahead for a gain of 5. Really, when you're going to be a coach in this league, you take all of these experiences and they become a part of who you are.
Yeah, no question.
And when you've got a chance to be around Shula for a year and see greatness like Dan Marino, it can't hurt.
That helps. And of course, he was in college and learned a lot about people and players, coaching at Syracuse, which he brought to the NFL, and he's off to a very good start in Buffalo.
2nd and 5. And that is Landry coming over to catch it. And he's gotten the first down, it appears.
Well, these outside screens, haven't seen as much of them as I thought we would. But Landry, like a lot of wide receivers, you just got to give him chances with the football. He's very aggressive, a high-energy player. He's tough. I think he's one of the guys that can go up and win contested throws, too.
But Tannehill's done a lot of short throws tonight.
Yep, only 6 passes of all those throws past 10 yards.
And a new set of downs, and he's got Lyman in his face as he completes the pass to Clay. Preston Brown, the tackler. Mario Williams again was ready to get in on Tannehill.
Yeah, good move. Good job of staying in the pocket and just standing there knowing you're probably going to get hit and making an accurate throw outside. But I keep looking at this offense. Mario Williams, good job by Dallas Thomas pushing him around or keeping him out long enough. When are you going to take another chance and go down the field with the football?
2nd and 5. And they give it on the toss to Miller, who's running hard tonight. He's got a gain of 7 and a first down. With NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon and primetime games, NFL Network and NFL Red Zone, right on your mobile device. Download today or learn more at NFL.com/mobile. Lamar Miller not showing any effects of that shoulder separation as they'll rotate him out here, but he's got 8 carries for 60 yards tonight. Miller has one of the highest averages per carry in the league this season. 1st and 10. And incomplete. He's trying to find Williams.
Well, what I keep looking for is that opportunity where they can go over the top. And the one thing the Dolphins said about this Bills defense, and I heard a couple players talk about it, they dare us to throw the ball deep. They crowd the line of scrimmage. That time, this last play, watch up top. They get behind the defense. There's nobody there. It's a one-on-one situation. So the opportunities are there. You got to take those chances.
Saw Bill Lazor. Offensive coordinator. Here's 2nd and 10. And Brian Hartline's running down the sideline for a big gain.
Sometimes I think he gets lost in this offense. Doesn't really get the attention that he's deserved for this production the last years of his career, but that's a good job. It's a blitz, and they get confused who's going to go across the formation and take hard line, and he makes a big play out of it.
It was Roby who let him run right past him as he blitzed, and it picks up 31. Third play of the night for Miami of at least 30. As Miller gets the edge. And he's got another 10.
Sideways run. That time they get the edge. Darius, how about him hustling from the inside?
Again, the red zone issues. We've already seen those surface a couple of times tonight. They spotted Miller out a yard short of the first. So it's 2nd and 1.
Well, this should really help you in this situation. You truly have a free down here.
Going to go back. No, they're going to fake the toss. And Tannehill goes to the end zone. And he's got his man with a flag down. That's Gibson with the catch.
That penalty decline. Touchdown.
And it took all the way until 2:18 was on the clock in the third quarter for the Knights' first touchdown by either side.
Well, it was 2nd down. They had a free down. They took advantage of it. And the fake was excellent by Tannehill. And look what happens. The Buffalo Bills knock their own players off the coverage. Nobody covering Gibson.
Brandon Gibson, formerly of the Rams, has his first touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins have the lead at 10-9. Tannehill did a good job of faking the toss to Miller. Gibson was wide open. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. Nothing in moderation. Introducing the first ever 306 horsepower RC Coupe from Lexus. Once driven, there's no going back. Well, it's been a long time since Miami went back to the end zone in competition against the Bills. You look at that drive. Tannehill was sharp, got the touchdown throw. You know, they played a very important game week 16 last year at Buffalo and got blanked up there as the Dolphins were trying to angle for a playoff berth. They got shut out 19-0. This touchdown is their first touchdown in 33 drives against the Bills.
Well, let's watch Gibson go across here and just watch all the defenders once the fake happens. Watch them. They all take off. They think it's an outside run. There's going to be some blocking by the receivers down, but no, the good fake. Tannehill hangs in there and makes the throw.
We're set up by the Heartline catch and run for 32 yards.
The crossing routes, they found something. 2 of them in that drive that produced a big play and a touchdown.
Cameron Wake is not on that defensive front to start this drive. Buffalo from the 20. And a ball in and out of the hands of Woods.
Kyle Orton trying to be very careful with the football. Threw it where he wanted to because he thought the defender might try to shoot in front of Woods. So he throws it on the back hip and it goes incomplete.
And this Buffalo offense has not scored a touchdown in the last 6 quarters. Going back to last Sunday's game against Kansas City after scoring one on the opening drive. No touchdowns quarters 2, 3, and 4-0 tonight. 2nd and 10. And that's Brown. And he's got 7. But the flag is on the field.
Holding, number 70, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It's called on Eric Wood.
Here it is. You can see it against Odrick.
The first offensive penalty of the night on the Bills.
Well, you'd hope for crowd noise, passing situations. That's what the defensive ends for Miami was. Cameron Wake now is in the game.
2nd down and 20. Set up screen to Brown, and look at Odrick on him. Tackling him behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 4.
Safe call by the Buffalo defense. We've been talking most of the night about the defensive front of the Buffalo Bills. But you start looking at some of these guys up front. Odrick, Cameron Wake, Vernon, Earl Mitchell, Randy Starks. They're deep. They're good.
Big momentum shift here in the last 5 minutes. 3rd and 24. Bills snap it from the 6. And Orton unloads it somewhat in the direction of Sammy Watkins, and they'll be punting out of the end zone.
Well, just about every time here, especially in the second half, in these obvious throws, they are pushing the pocket and getting to Kyle Orton.
That time it was Olivier Vernon who pushed the pocket.
Yep, I'd say the last 3 third downs, he's been catching the football and throwing the football away.
The Dolphins.
Well, they're trying to see if this is going to be intentional grounding, but I saw it. I thought the wide receiver went inside, he threw it out.
Oh, now they're going to throw the flag. And I thought Watkins was in the area too.
Intentional grounding in the offense. There was no receiver in the area. The quarterback was in the pocket. The penalty was in the end zone.
Oh, it's going to be a safety.
Safety.
Wow, I tell you what, Watkins, he was in the area.
Well, he's on the outside. Here he is.
Oh, what a crucial call this is by Walt Coleman's crew. There's Watkins, and there's the ball hitting just off the sideline. We're going to bring in Mike Carey. I thought Watkins was in the area, Mike.
Well, he was far enough away that he wasn't close to being in the area. But when you're 7 to 10 yards away, a missed route does not excuse intentional grounding. I think you have a good call on the field.
So he cuts to the inside instead of to the sideline. Correct. That has nothing to do with it.
A missed route does not protect him.
If you're refereeing this game, you make the same call?
I make the same call. Now it's a tandem call. He's in the pocket, under pressure, and then the line judge and the head and the field judge come in and show that there's nobody in the area when the ball lands.
Well,
when the ball lands is where you look.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike, but Jim, it makes sense because you can always say, well, the receiver ran the wrong route, and they can only go by the facts that they see on the field. So,
correct. Where was the receiver when the ball hit the ground? Too far away.
Schmidt on the free kick. And whistles first.
You know, I was looking to argue with you, but you made too much sense, so I got to agree. And of course, Mike, the other thing is about that play, you can't challenge it and go to replay.
Correct. There's nothing reviewable about intentional grounding on the play.
But it is a scoring play.
It is a scoring play, but the goal line wasn't in question. It was the judgment of where the receiver was when the ball landed.
So all scoring plays are not reviewable.
Theoretically, they are.
Okay, that's been a mistruth all this time. So now the set. Schmidt's free kick to Landry. He corners him on the sideline, and he slips away. If they had a chance to get the angle, ball is on the ground. And this might be, it is a Buffalo recovery. It all in the end, where Roby with the recovery works out with Buffalo, getting the football at the 38 after giving up 2 points. Landry, the rookie. The ball's coming out. Now, make sure Buffalo was inbounds for the recovery. Cersei, one of those in there making contact. You see Roby now, right side of the screen, dashing in for the recovery.
The previous play will be reviewed.
Well, it's a good thing that it's Roby with the recovery and not Schmidt, the punter, because Schmidt had a leg out of bounds. Tightly contested tonight here in South Florida. Miami leading at 12-9 as we start the fourth. Jim Nanceville sends Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey, and the Bills at the 29 of the Dolphins with third down coming up. 3rd and 11.
They're faking the blitz. They come with the blitz.
And here they come. And that pass one hops into the hands of the Dolphins defender, Jimmy Wilson. And we'll see another field goal attempt coming up for Dan Carpenter from about 47.
I thought maybe they could, here they come inside with it. They've been faking that most of the night, but I thought maybe they would fake it just to make sure their defensive linemen got some one-on-one opportunities to get to the quarterback.
This field goal to tie the game at 12. Carpenter for his 4th make of the night from 47. And this kick is wide of the mark. Landry's off the hook.
Just a little bit of a pull. The fact that it was far enough away, didn't let him get away with it.
Look at Jimmy Wilson.
Well, points are so hard to come by. It just puts more pressure right now, right away on the Buffalo defense. To get it back without giving up even a field goal.
Gets to take over from the spot, 37, as Miller breaks it up the middle for 7.
Well, they're having success running the football up the middle tonight. Preston Brown that time on the tackle. Rookie linebacker, leading tackler on the team. Stepping in and never leaves the field. Always out there in every situation.
Rookie out of Louisville. They picked up in the 3rd round of this year's draft their top tackler, Preston Brown. 2nd and 3. They're running again with Miller. And a nice little shift by Miller to pick up the 1st down. Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson on the sideline.
Well, guys, the Dolphins already without cornerback Cortland Finnegan because of an ankle is now without Will Davis. He has a right knee injury. He will not return.
Wow.
Jim?
And there's Cortland Finnegan right there. Out with that ankle injury. Who had so many good years with Jeff Fisher at Tennessee, then on to St. Louis. Now here, 1st and 10. Tannehill to Clay. Picks up 12.
Good design that time. Clay making that little fake outside, coming underneath. A lot of times you run that route with your running back, but they spread out and use their tight end instead.
Clay's 4th catch of this half.
Miami staying very aggressive in their play calls and formations.
Another set of downs at the 41 as Miller drives ahead and gets tossed around by Kyle Williams, but he's got another 4. By the way, week 11 continues on Sunday, the next broadcast window. These are the set of games on CBS and Fox. Check your local listings.
A lot of good games to watch this weekend. Too, as we're watching this game, you know, we started out talking so much about Ryan Tannehill, and 22 of 29, 219 yards. He's been sharp, good decisions.
2nd and 6, play action fake. Here's Tannehill. Knocked away at the last moment, and a flag is out on Gilmore.
Well, my first look live, I thought it was a good play by Gilmore.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Just, you know, live look at it, looked like a great last-minute breakup by Gilmore, but they flag him for pass interference.
Oh, it's excellent play. I don't see it. He doesn't turn him. He touches him with the arm, times it perfectly, and that's slow motion to see it. In full speed, it was bang, bang. So tough call against Gilmore.
24-yard penalty.
But you know what? That's why you throw the ball down the field. You look for catches, of course, completions, but you can always get pass interference.
1st down at the 13. It's Thomas getting the carry, and he is inside the 10 for another 4, maybe 5. Running behind Mike Pouncey, who made the change this year from center over to right guard.
Yep.
With the acquisition of Samson Satelli.
That's saying something, because Mike Pouncey, one of the best centers in the NFL, out early. He comes back. Samson Satelli playing so well at center. They just said, well, let's keep him there and get our 5 best guys on the field. So Pouncey made the switch, and every week, the coaches say every week he gets a little better at right guard.
2nd and 5, and Tannehill finds the open man. It's Landry to the end zone for the touchdown. The ball came out, but he had already crossed the plane.
That'll make up for that fumble. Excellent job by the quarterback. Yep, the knee looks like it might be down just before he crosses the goal line.
No issue of a fumble here. Not the knee.
The previous play will be reviewed.
They are going to review to see if Landry was down before he crossed the goal line. It's close. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Halo, the Master Chief Collection, only on Xbox One. We're waiting to see if this touchdown by Jarvis Landry is confirmed. I'm going to bring in Mike Carey, and you were saying during the break, this is very close.
Very tight, Jim. Now, your instincts say that he probably did not score, but if I was reviewing this, I would have to let the call on the field stand because there's not visible evidence.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Landry gets the delayed touchdown celebration.
Now, I've watched him in practice. He is a high-energy guy, and they need plays like that from him. He's one of the guys I think can start making those contested catches and help them down in the red zone.
He's going to be a good player for them.
No question.
Rookie, we were talking about that decorated draft class of wide receivers. Extra point is good. Landry was a second-round pick, 63rd overall out of LSU. 16 points by the Dolphins in a little less than 6 minutes to take the 10-point lead. And just a short while ago, Carpenter had the 47-yard attempt to tie the game. And the missed long field goal gave the Dolphins a shorter field. Then there was that questionable interference call that got the Dolphins inside the 15. And then the Tannehill touchdown throw to Landry.
Well, Ryan Tannehill, the reaction is great, scoring that touchdown. But Tannehill did a good job. They were trying to throw it inside, and he reshuffled and looked out, and without hesitation, just showing you how comfortable he's getting with this offense, making quick decisions, and he's been on the money all night long with the football.
Orton and the Bills have to make up 10 points in 11.5 minutes. It's Brown. And Sturgis slips as he cuts off the angle, and a 26-yard return by Brown. Tonight's cable cam being presented by Mazda. We've got a Dolphin down on the field. It's Jonathan Freeney. And while they tend to him, we'll take a little break. Bills will be starting this drive from the 29 when we come back. Here's what the quarterbacks have done tonight, and as we've been down here prepping all week, you've been talking about how impressed you've been by Tannehill.
Well, he's definitely gotten better, and you know, he's such a topic of conversation. And look, they're not a great offensive line, so the opportunities are not always there, but he's been accurate with the football. I've seen that in all the films, and his decision-making has been very good.
Out of the backfield, they complete the throw to Brown for 4.
And you know, Jim, they're running a new offense, but I really noticed it getting better. He looks to the right, and watch how quick he reshuffles, finds Landry out the flat, and gives him time to make the move to score the touchdown. He came in tonight, there's no doubt. Tannehill tonight came into this game beat up. Wouldn't tell us what was wrong, just said he was fine. But he had a rough game physically in Detroit.
2nd and 6. And they get it back to Brown. And he's got running room out to the 50. Blockers in front. Urbic and Wood free him for 16.
Well, they just have so many ways to attack you with the short passing game. They throw it outside quick, inside quick, and the screen game has been pretty good to this Buffalo offense this year.
First down carry, it's Dixon, and he's got 4. And we've got AFC West action next Thursday night. Jamal Charles and the Red Hot Chiefs will face Derek Carr and the Raiders next Thursday night. 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. We saw Coach Shula here tonight. We hope to see Coach Madden next Thursday night out in Oakland. 2nd and 6. Bills trying to put something together here. They've been kept out of the end zone all night. As Orton goes down the field, and Watkins had a step on Grimes. The pass was overthrown.
Yep, he had him, and Kyle Orton knows he missed it, but he didn't put enough air on the football. Boy, nice move. The move outside. But what happens so many times, you know, you got to throw those long footballs. When you're throwing it, you got to throw them high to give yourself more room for air. So the receiver can run under it, or he can make an adjustment. He's going to have a better chance adjusting than the defensive back.
Watkins on the night, 3 catches, 32 yards. He had a 100-yard performance against the Dolphins week 2, including his first NFL touchdown. Here's a big 3rd and 6. And it's incomplete. Thrown to Woods, in the direction of Woods.
Well, good job picking up the blitz, but nobody's open. Watch the running back. Steps in there. Boy, they're all around. Kyle Orton trying to go to Woods. Throw a back shoulder, but the pressure's too quick for him to make an accurate throw.
9:50 to go, down 10. They're going to punt, as the Bills have failed to convert in this second half tonight on 3rd down, 0 for 5.
Yep, can't handle the pass rush on 3rd down.
Schmidt's punt. Landry has to step up to the 20. Poor punt, just 27 yards. Landry, fair catch. Tannehill grabs the helmet, heading back out with the lead of 10, 4th quarter. We're back here in Miami, as you see the numbers on the night. 19-9, Dolphins lead it, and now we'll take the ball at the 20. Bills could have used a good punt there by Schmidt. And they got people jumping, and flags are out.
Offside, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Mario Williams been in on a couple of sacks tonight. Flag for that one.
Yeah, you know, listen, 9 minutes and 30 seconds ago, that was a big 5 yards, because now you can let the Dolphins run the football, maybe get a 1st down, and it can take a lot of time off the clock.
Diving catch made by Deion Sims for 3. Been a couple of key plays here in this second half. The grounding call, of course, produced a safety, and then the interference call on Gilmore that kept the Dolphins drive going, leading to an eventual touchdown.
Well, I think the tough one is the pass interference, Jim.
The 2nd and 2, Tannehill with the keep and slides to a stop at the 44.
Almost reminds me of last week against Kansas City. In a big moment, you can't lose your discipline. Somebody has to stay with the quarterback. Kansas City Chiefs won the game on the exact same play. Alex Smith scored, and Tannehill, wide receiver at Texas A&M, very athletic, and that's when you pull those type of plays out. When the defense overreacts, and you can take advantage of it.
Well, did he fake out Cersei? He's got another hookup here with Sims, who just got his first catch a moment ago. Now he has 2 in a span of 3 plays. You know, those 2 plays we showed a moment ago, the intentional grounding and the pass interference call. Did you agree with them both?
I could see the intentional grounding. I thought Mike Carey made it quite clear. You can't say, oh, he ran the wrong route. But the pass interference, thought it was huge. It was so close, even in slow motion, it looked good. So when we sped it up and you see it, and I did not like the call.
2nd and 2. Pressure, and they've got him for the 4th time tonight. Oh, and they got a flag out. The flag came well after Tannehill had been taken down for another sack.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 55, defense. 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot. First down.
Called on Jerry Hughes. Which absolutely wipes out the sack, makes it meaningless. He made contact with the official.
Yes, he did. I think it was the taunting that maybe got it. I'm not sure.
From the 38, Miller. And he's got 5 more. 13 carries for 88 on the night for Miller.
This has been a tough drive for this Buffalo defense. The penalty to start the drive to put Miami in great situations. Not keep it contained on the quarterback. On the zone read, I think that's the first time all night that Ryan Tannehill had pulled the football on a zone read. And of course, the last penalty against Hughes.
Well, the Dolphins are going to take a timeout here as we approach 6 minutes to go in the game. Tannehill with a 15-yard run on this drive. This is tonight. How much do quarterbacks just tracking them throughout the course of the game, how much they have run?
I think you look at it and you go, man, I don't remember Kyle Orton moving a whole lot here tonight. Close to 400 yards. But between the dropbacks, you know, shuffling around the pocket, of course, Ryan Tannehill has been outside the pocket quite a few times. I think we talked about it too. This has been a pretty strong game by the Miami quarterback. And I thought, regardless of what happens here the rest of the game, you go back to the very beginning, what the Dolphins did. They made sure he got off to a good start, got him in a great frame of mind, gave him confidence. It really gave the offensive line confidence, Jim, because they got rid of the football so much.
Well, he came out on that first series and marched him down the field over 8 minutes, completed his first 8 passes.
Yep.
Like I said, that shot up the confidence, and he came in here with ankle and shoulder issues, but he didn't want to talk about it. He's hung in there and played a fine game. Now he's hit his last 6. Make it 7.
Well, what they have done, the biggest discrepancy in this game tonight, as we said in the opening, the Buffalo defensive line, could they just control the game and really wreck it and win it for them? And the game plan by the Dolphins and good play by the offensive line, which is, it's been pretty good against, which I said is the best defensive front, pass rushing defensive front in the NFL. And of course the play calling.
Buffalo defense needs to get Miami off the field. Even hold them to a field goal here, they would keep the Bills in the game.
That would keep them in the game, keep it 2 scores. You got to play aggressive on defense.
Here's a 3rd and 3. And Tannehill is slammed down by Mario Williams.
I'd say that's pretty aggressive. And you know what happened? They just got a single block on the outside, and Dallas Thomas, here it comes.
Tell you what, he took him out of field goal range. They're going to punt it. It's a loss of 8.
Man, well, he's been showing speed. He's double moved him, and that time he just ran power and went right at him and caught Thomas off guard. The difference between 10 points and 13 is huge for this Buffalo football team.
You're just not going to risk trying a 55-yard field goal because the miss would set up the Bills at the 45. And they're going to go ahead and let it back up another 5 as they'll take a delay of game here.
Delay of game on the offense. The penalties decline. Still 4th down.
Yeah, you decline it to make it harder to pin them down. The punter now has to have even have greater touch, or whatever you want to say when you're kicking a football, to get this inside the 10-yard line.
Well, Brandon Fields has only 1 touchback this year. He did have a punt blocked at Buffalo. They apply no pressure. This one's bounding out of bounds near the 10. 4:37 to go. Buffalo with all 3 timeouts, but down 19-9. Goes to the end zone, and he's got his man. It's Landry to the end zone. As we come back to Sun Life Stadium, and the Bills need to mount a furious rally. Yep, having not scored a touchdown in the last 110 minutes of action. And Orton is going to be sacked at the 4. Olivier Vernon got to him.
Well, you want to say, you know right away, you've got to help these tackles out. Here he comes. Can't get out there quick enough to stop him. Gets overpowered. Really a tough assignment for Glenn. I thought they would go in a formation, it looked like it, where they would help both tackles so Kyle Orton would have extra time.
2nd and 16. And that pass in the direction of Watkins. And again, there was more pressure on Orton.
The whole second half, every time there's an obvious passing situation, Kyle Orton is thrown it away or taking a hit. And how about that Cameron Wake? Just so much speed, able to turn the corner and still get there.
Wake has had at least 1 sack in 5 straight games. But Wake without one tonight. Might still get his chance. They go underneath. And that's Dixon. Taken out by 3 Dolphins. Now what do you do?
Well, of course, you got to know the situation and make sure you give yourself a chance to get down there and pick this first down up. I wouldn't be adverse to calling a timeout and thinking it out and making sure you have the right play here to prolong this game.
Going for it, 4th and 8, down 10. And the receiver had not even turned around, Chandler. And the Dolphins take over inside the 20.
Well, once again, the pressure is so fast, there's nothing that Kyle Orton can do. They run a little game. Vernon comes inside, no chance. You know, the one thing you got to question there in that drive, they never did anything, Jim, to help their tackles out, and all 4 downs, really.
The Dolphins defense in this second half really kicked it up a notch. They've held them to only 79 yards in the second half.
Yeah, the Dolphin defensive front, that was the difference here in the second half without question.
First down carry. It was Miller for no gain. Timeout by Buffalo. Leaving the Bills with 2. You talked about at the very start about how important this game was on each side. Now, let's project here for just a moment that Miami goes on and wins this game. Dolphins would be up to 6-4. Remember, New England plays at Indianapolis. The Patriots, as you see, they're on a roll. We've seen it. 5 straight wins, averaging over 40 points a game. The Bills have been good on the road this year, but down 10 tonight. The Dolphins have already beaten New England week 1. They've got that second showdown coming up December 14th.
Well, I think you could say as we go through all this, there's a long way to go. And every team, New England included, they have to play a lot of tough games at home and on the road.
Yeah, New England's got coming up not only at Indianapolis, home Detroit, at Green Bay, at San Diego. As Miller slips, trying to make a cut, gives back 2 yards. But forces the Bills to take another timeout. Meanwhile, the Dolphins get that mini bye coming off the Thursday night and then travel out to Denver a week from Sunday.
Look at that schedule. There, you know, you can do this with every team in the league. There's no easy weeks. We see it. Hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers go up last week against the New York Jets. A sure win for the Steelers. Well, it doesn't turn out that way. As we watch this game, Buffalo too, they have a very hard road ahead. Cleveland playing well. Denver, Green Bay, and New England. That's 3 of the powerhouses in the NFL.
Well, you just wonder, spots 5 and 6 in the AFC this year, what it's going to take. How many wins will it take to get in? Can you make it with 9 this year? Looks like it's going to be a 10-win must. As Tannehill is almost intercepted. That was Corey Graham jumping in front of Mike Wallace.
Well, it didn't look like he got everything he wanted on the football. He's got the idea, lead it up the field. He throws it behind him. That's why Ryan Tannehill was so upset. If he just rips this across the field, it's a touchdown.
And the incomplete pass saves Buffalo a timeout. And Sturgis now with the field goal for 32 yards. And the kick is good. So still a chance for the Bills. Although only 3 minutes and 1 second to go. Down 2 scores at 22-9.
Well, we talked about him a lot tonight. Been on the run. We said it. Nice job of changing up everything he's doing. Throwing from the pocket, play action passes, moving him outside. And then this play at the end was taking time off the clock. Caught the Buffalo defense by surprise. I would have thought after what they did last week that they would be on top of every situation when it came to the zone read, but they weren't. And just a really, he's still upset about that throw. Besides that throw, though, Jim, that's about the only one all night that was not on target.
Well, again, he had hit his first 8, and now has hit 7 of his last 8, with 2 of those going for touchdowns. But he doesn't like that last incompletion.
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about, this guy, Tannehill, we see the ability. I think that's evident. And, he's just learning to be he's having enough success, Jim, where he can really turn into the true leader of the football team.
You remember what Coach Philbin told us about that bust at the end of last season, the Dolphins putting up only 7 points the last 2 games, and how the old offense took a long time to decide things. So now things are starting with the Dolphins. They hold on and win this, they would have won now 5 of their last 7. His quarterback rating is 240. Does not have a 300-yard game this year. They don't do a lot of down the field business.
No,
passing game.
I think that's the one weakness that they're going to have to keep working on. But as you watch these two teams tonight, it was evident the team that had more chances to make plays absolutely was the Miami Dolphins offense compared to Buffalo's offense.
Here's Orton. Again, trying to go underneath and in and out of the hands of Bryce Brown. Coming up, the Mazda postgame show, Rich Eisen and the guys will wrap up this one with highlights and analysis only on NFL Network.
Of course, there's no sure things at this game, but you look at Miami, what they've done here tonight. They can make plays on the offensive side. You know, they have some guys, Mike Wallace. We saw Jarvis Landry. They can run the football with their running scheme. And we saw this pass rush. Just get them some situations that are good for the defense, and they take advantage of it.
Here's Orton with defenders flying in his face. And they've got another sack. The Dolphins defense continues to manhandle the second half. Manhandle the Bills, that is. Earl Mitchell and others. Look at this.
Oh, man. Who was that that jumped
in the
Jenkins.
air? Jenkins coming through.
Flying. Here he comes from the outside. Thinks he's going to get blocked, so he just jumps over the blocker.
What was happening down the field as the Bills have just called the timeout?
Well, Kyle Orton was looking for one of these routes across the middle or down. Nobody was really open, but even if they were, he was not going to be able to find it.
How about this secondary for the Dolphins already without Finnegan going into the game and losing Will Davis during the course of the game? One of their top backup corners. There's Jamar Taylor with his first career start tonight. He's made some plays.
Well, you know, listen, he's a high draft pick. They expect things from him. Of course, Brent Grimes, one of the best corners in the NFL. There you go, the yards. Seems like Miami really had more than 146 here in the second half. Brent Grimes is going to have a little test next Sunday out in Denver against Demaryius Thomas.
We will be there to see that one in the national doubleheader window. Here is a 3rd and 14 for Orton, stepping up. And Hogan gets within a couple of yards of the first. It'll be 4th and 2 coming up. And marking back actually out of bounds at the 27. So 4th and 3.
Well, we can almost see it from the beginning, the tension in the game, because I think both teams, all the players, they look at all the records and they realize how much this game was going to determine the rest of the season for them.
4th and 3. Orton going for the long ball. And the receiver fell down. It was Brown on the ground, no flag, and Miami will take over.
Yeah, not a good matchup on the outside, but Kyle Orton got outside the pocket and just decided to take a chance. And you look at it, you know, the Miami Dolphins had to overcome some mistakes here tonight too.
Well, that defense comes off the field, having stopped Buffalo on all 7 of its 3rd down attempts in this half, and both of the 4th down tries as well. Bills are out of timeouts. Miami with possession and 13-point lead. Running back is Daniel Thomas for 2. Bring it down to the 2-minute warning. And the Dolphins are going to be on their way now to 6 and 4.
Yep, the good thing about these Thursday night games, we hear from the players and coaches all the time, man, if you win, it's a great thing. Get those few extra days off for the Dolphins. The quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, he could use those few extra days to recover from these last 2.
Remember, the Dolphins scored first tonight. You know what that means?
Yes, I do.
All 11 Thursday night games this year, the team that scored first has won the game. Thursday Night Football brought to you by T-Mobile. Unleash from wireless restrictions. And by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Going to be a lot of happy people down here in South Florida.
Yeah, they'll
Miami.
be happy for a couple of days. Man, I'll tell you, it's the scrutiny, it's tough.
2 minutes to go. Buffalo cannot stop the clock. Here's the toss to Thomas. And we can update these standings now. How about this? 12 of the 16 in the AFC are, in this playoff picture, in the hunt. Only Tennessee, Jacksonville, the Jets, and Oakland aren't on this list.
It is amazing, and I'll tell you, that's why it's going to be hard to predict, Jim. 10-6, whatever you think the records are going to have to be to get in the playoffs. When you look at these schedules, they all play each other. Of course, when you have that many teams still in the hunt.
The 3rd and 5, and leaping up and over for the first down that can lead us to a kneel down finish. That was Thomas. And the coach, Philbin, this season has brought so many ups and downs. Just a couple of weeks ago, he lost his hero, his dad, Paul, passing away in the middle of this season. Mom and Dad been married for over 60 years. They had a big anniversary celebration this past summer up in New England, where he's from. His dad was completely aware of the Dolphins and how they were playing well before he passed just 2 weeks ago. Watched with great pride everything that his son has done with his career, from work as a coordinator with the Packers to now being the head coach here at Miami. His record as head coach now goes to 21-21. More importantly, his team goes to 6-4.
That's right. He talked about this game, what a test it was. It's never easy. He knows that. It wasn't easy tonight.
Well, the Mazda post-game show is coming up next. Rich will be down there leading the charges as the guys wrap up tonight's game, and we understand Ryan Tannehill is going to be making an appearance as well. Tannehill with a nice night here tonight. 26 of 34. 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Those are impressive numbers when you talk about the defensive front he went against.
Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot. I'm here with Jarvis Landry, and 3rd touchdown of the season. But how bad did you want to get in that end zone after the earlier fumble in that game?
So bad, so bad. I think making that mistake, I cost my team, a little turnover right there in a bad spot that could have swung the momentum, and I think we talk about it all the time. Things like that lose games. So I owe them one, and I wanted to score so bad. So when they reviewed it, I'm thinking to myself, but I got in, everybody picked me up after the fumble and everything. So it just says a lot about this team to overcome adversity.
Yeah, we saw that post-touchdown celebration after the review. Talk about Tannehill and how efficient he was tonight and how important that was for the win.
Oh, man, it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see him get out there, move around, move in the pocket, also do things with his legs. He helped us with his legs a lot. And I think in that first half, he made him miss, like 3 or 4 passes. So that was just being efficient, and spreading the ball. I think we spread the ball around a great deal, and he managed the clock. And he did a great job with the cadence also.
So much on the line coming into tonight. How does it feel to be in the playoff hunt right now?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I think at this time I don't think they could say that last year. So right now we just got to keep our head down, keep our feet dug in, and continue this grind.
Speaking of the grind, you have some time off, but you have Denver next Sunday. We'll be there. How challenging will that be?
Oh, man, it's no time to relax for sure. We got to do our job to keep it out of Peyton's hand. You can say that right now, but for us, we just got to get our body back after this short week. Get prepared the same way that we did, and get out here and compete again next Sunday.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. God bless.
Kid's got a big personality and some big-time talent. The rookie finding the end zone tonight. The Dolphins are 6-4. That's their best record through 10 games since 2008, the last time they went to the postseason. And by the way, their 6 wins, all 6 of them by double-digit margins. 22-9 tonight. Miami, the victor, will join the studio after this.